have the G7X. I think this is my 6th episode. I have a G7X that's pointing at me. I have my iPhone pointing at me. And I have the Audacity software, and I have some freaking really bad lights. Today, I think the last episode, I spoke about, I don't know if it's called, I think it's called how to make the hardest thing to sell easiest taking candy from a baby. So if you guys are interested, you guys and gals out there, don't want to be that way. If you guys and gals out there are interested in that, please go back and listen to it. I have quite an extensive background in sales. Been lucky, honored enough to co-partner with a good buddy of mine, and we built the business from the ground up to over $62 million per month in sales revenue. We're almost at $1 billion per year. We've done this without any loans, no venture capital, financial consultants. We didn't have any mentors, no mastermind groups, none of that stuff, although we would have loved to have it, but we didn't, unfortunately. But I have definitely been diving in deep myself lately. I've been reading a ton of different books, when I get an opportunity. So I'm looking forward to bigger and better things. And also I'm really proud because it's not just about reaching that $1 billion. It's not like I make $1 billion, so I don't want to give that impression. But the good thing is that there's so many businesses that we've been able to help and without actually taking advantage of them. And also there's a ton of sales consultants who have created, pretty good wealth for themselves, I know online everybody hears about, oh, I made $1 million, I did this, I did that, but we don't know how much. Not that this is a bad thing, it's a good thing, but how much do you take home? That's what really counts. How much money do you take home? And so we have we have a program now where you come into the program, and if you follow the program full time, you will definitely make 6 figures recurring revenue within a 6-month period. That is for sure. 6 figures recurring revenue within a 12-month period. And we have some sales consultants who are making well over $250,000 a year. So you can be a millionaire within 2 or 3 years, which is how true wealth is built. It's not you just wake up one day within a year, all of a sudden you've made $5 and $10 million. And I see a lot of that online now, and I see a lot of that with especially much younger people. And I think that's a result of following and listening to a lot of people out there who are promoting that. I haven't met any who are actually making that kind of money. I've gone to tons of seminars, tons and tons and tons of seminars. I have yet to meet these people who are making this kind of money. But you see a lot of people, they're taking pictures in front of all these fancy cars and these big houses, and I don't know, I guess you fake it till you make it. I know the rappers did that for a long time, and you fake it till you make it, but true wealth is not built like that. And so I'm proud that we've been able to work with the sales consultants and help them, this is recurring revenue. So this is not like you go out and you do a campaign and you make $25,000 and then you have to do the campaign again and again and again and again. We're talking about this is wealth that's created over time, and this is recurring. It means the money is being made while you sleep. But you can actually 10x it if you want to, and there's several ways to do that, which we can talk about one day, but not the topic of today. So what I want to talk about today is how you can pretty much sell anything without much talking. So this is for people who feel like they can't sell, and it's not in them, and they don't have these oratory skills. And if you hear me, I'm definitely not the greatest orator. I have no public speaking skills whatsoever. Sometimes I stutter when I talk, I mumble when I talk. There's a ton of different errors. I probably couldn't win a freaking toast at Toastmasters, if they had that thing. That was a joke, ha. So I don't have any of those skills, and I've been able to do extremely well, and none of our sales consultants are extremely polished as well. People want people today. They want genuine, authentic people. They don't want the polished person with the suit and the fancy car and the fancy watch. You see that online today because they're selling their dream to people, and people are chasing after that. But when you meet with a client and they want to make sure that you have their best interest at heart and that you're going to take their business and help them with their bottom line, they want a genuine person. They don't want a person who feels like, you're going to take their money and spend it to go buy a freaking Lamborghini or, some Rolex or something like that, or a wild night out in town. So they don't want that. They want a genuine person, and they don't really care. They care how you speak, of course, but you don't have to be polished. So, and this is going to be really short, it's going to be really simple, and this is something that I've learned over time. My wife, who is not a salesperson, but she says she's not a salesperson, but I think she's probably one of the best salespeople out there, because, and this is something that a lot of women have a step on in regard to men. Their step ahead is because women listen. I remember, I have children and just them growing up and, with exes and just even in business. And one day I just had this freaking epiphany, and I'm like, if I really, 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 really want to get to know someone or sell them whatever it is I'm trying to sell, I need to shut up and I need to listen. That's it. You shut up and you listen. And people will tell you it's so funny because they will tell you what they want. I remember listening to a guy named Steven Larson, who's connected with the Russell Simmons program, and they do this thing called the Ask campaign. I mean, he may not be the one who created the Ask campaign, but they're using it. And the Ask campaign is where you basically online or over the phone or in person, you get 100 different people to tell you what their problem is. And then you take it, and so you're asking them, what is your problem? Tell me what your problem is. And then once you get enough people to tell you, of course, you can go create the service or the product, whatever that is, and sell it to them. And so, and I didn't think about that. I'm like, shoot, that's pretty good. And all these years that I've been selling, that's one of the main, also like my go-to thing is you go in, you spark a conversation, you let the person feel like you genuinely, not feel, but you let them know, hopefully you do, you genuinely care about them and their situation, at least as it relates to the business at hand. And you listen. If you listen, you ask certain questions where, you don't ask them, well, do you think it would be nice to save money? You want yes or no questions. You almost want to ask a question where you already know the answer, and then you just listen. Would you like to, you would ask them, could you use more money in your business? Of course they could. Instead of paying these additional fees, would you like to now take some of those, take that money that you would normally pay in fees and put back into your business? Of course I would. They would like to do that. So there's always going to be a yes. Do you want me to charge you extra money for a higher product? They're going to say no. So you ask certain questions where you already know the answer, but you shut up and you listen. And once you listen intently enough, and this could be in your relationships, this could be in business, they both go hand in hand. But if you listen intently enough, they will tell you exactly what they want. Sometimes they'll give you so much information that you may have to call a friend to help you. They'll tell you exactly what they want in regard to that business. They're going to tell you, what's going on with the employees. They're going to tell you different tools that their employees could use, what other issues are happening in their business. And if you were like a jack of all trades, you could walk in and you could provide them so many things just by listening. Where you have some sales consultants who come in and literally speaking, they just walk in and they try to dominate the entire conversation. And so I remember, with my wife today, people love me, and I have family members that love me too. But my wife, oh my God, people love her. And the reason is because she's such a great listener. She's such a great listener. You think about it in our, like my grandfather who raised me, who I love to death. He passed along, and my grandmother passed along as well, but that's who raised me. And, with my grandfather, there wasn't much talking, He said it, that was it, you better step out the way, bottom line. With my grandmother, she was a big listener. And if you think about it, in some homes, who do the children go to when there's an issue in most cases? Do they go to the disciplinarian who is no talk, you know what I mean? Or do they go to the person who listens and who can hold a conversation with you based upon you talking, and then maybe the mom will, after you told her all this crazy stuff, she'll provide, she'll make a comment here and there, or she'll even ask you a question. She already knows the answer. She'll, you go to school and you get into a fight and someone says something about you and you just punch them in the mouth, right? Your dad will probably whip your behind or put you on punishment. It'd be some kind of harsh sentence. Mom will say, well, tell me what happened. And you just start talking. And then you're going to tell her, well, she'll ask you, well, why did you hit them? Or did you hit them? And then once you give her that reply, then she goes into the next thing. And eventually, she paints a picture so well where you realize yourself, oh, shoot, I was wrong. And the opposite side of that is just, you know what, you shouldn't have done it. I don't care, blah, 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 blah. You're grounded or whatever. And you don't really learn anything like that. You don't even think about it properly, to be honest with you. You just shut down for the most part. And so problem is really not resolved. You just know not to do it again based upon fear. Whereas on the other side, your mom can interject anything she wants because you're so open. You're open to any suggestion that she has. You're spilling your guts out. That is, if you're not lying. But you're spilling your guts out, and she basically tells you, she basically helps you come to a conclusion. And that's how it is with sales. If you listen intently enough, don't just walk in trying to just shove something down your throat. Listen intently enough. They will tell you what the problem is. You can ask a question where you can either know the answer or you have an idea of what the answer will be. And then from there, you can direct the conversation to the point where they can come to their own conclusion, which is going with your resolution or your solution. If you don't listen to a person intently enough, there's no rapport built, first of all. That's one thing. There's no rapport built whatsoever if you don't listen well enough. And then, in addition to that, not only is there no rapport built, but you don't give them a chance to even find out what their real issues are. Not everyone cares of course, everyone wants to save money, but it's not all just about money. What is the value in what you have to offer? Maybe it's money. Maybe it's customer service issues. I've sold a ton of deals like that where it wasn't even about money. We didn't even talk about money. That was the last topic, and in most cases, it's always the last topic. Whereas the opposite case is, people are always walking in talking about money, 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 money. But, I've walked into many businesses and, hello, how are you doing? I'm here. And they tell me, oh, we've seen plenty of guys like you before. We're always being sold something, blah, 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 blah. But by the time I leave, they've already told me the customer service was bad, the product was bad, the device doesn't work. They're not getting their funds in their bank account the next morning fast enough. They've been lied to, this, that, and other. So I have about 10 different things that I can hit them with. So hopefully that helps. I think someone's walking in my door now, so you may hear some noise here and there. But listening is so key. So how to sell anything without much talking, that is the way to do it. You ask open-ended questions, you're building rapport, and you're listening. So with that, thank you for listening, and hope to see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.